Hey guys, welcome to the GoLoco podcast. This is Jovin, your host, and with me today I have two very special guests, two friends of mine. We have Felix and we have Annie. If you guys want to introduce yourselves, you can go one at a time. Whoever wants to go first,
Yeah, so like Jovin said, my name is Felix. Nice to be on this podcast, joining you guys today. Super excited.
Yeah, I'm Annie, as Jovin introduced me. Also excited for being on my first podcast.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so we have some variety of topics to get through, but just quickly, let the audience know how you've been doing with quarantine. You've been doing fine, everything good, everything bad, everything sus. What sus? I don't know why everything would be sus. You know what I mean.
I know Felix hasn't been so good.
Oh no, does he have the Rona?
Yeah, quarantine has been it's been a struggle. I've been in Modesto since March, and I was like, I want to go home to be safe, and then all of a sudden I get coronavirus symptoms. I have to go take a test, but it comes out negative, luckily. And then pretty much immediately afterwards, I get a horrible sinus infection and horrible ear infection. Taking antibiotics at the moment to try to get rid of it. But, it's like if it's not one thing, it's another, right? So I've been in bed, sick. It's not been a good time.
How about you, Annie? Doing good?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Opposite of Felix. I'm not staying that safe because I've been working the entirety of quarantine. But, I don't think I have corona now. Hopefully not. But I've been pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Pretty good. And let's see. So Felix had a topic and Annie had a topic. So which topic y'all want to go through first that you guys had in mind? I was thinking we could save Annie's for the last because it sounds way better. I'm just kidding. No. It sounds because I don't know what she's going to talk about. All right. So, Felix, you wanted to introduce the topic to the audience on what you want to discuss here on the GoLoco podcast.
Yeah. So I guess if we're going to go with my topic, we're going to be talking about toxicity, for lack of a better word, or the type of community that Greek life builds, I guess, the type of social life that Greek life builds. As college students and everything going on around with the with social movements and speaking up and all that, Greek life does get a bad rap. It does get a bad name. And since all three of us are inside of the same fraternity, we kind of get an inside look as to what Greek life is like. So I always felt like there's always these talks about the toxicity of Greek life, but there's never any involvement by people that's actually in Greek life. And I feel like maybe we could talk about that today.
Okay, that sounds good. So, Annie, what are your thoughts just overall on just Greek life in general? Not just any specific fraternity or sorority, but just like the whole concept of Greek life. Like, how do you feel about it?
I think it's definitely, just overall, it's a good way to get involved and meet new people and get new experiences, right? And I don't think that there's anything inherently bad with it, but I know Felix was bringing up the idea of sort of a hierarchy it creates. And I don't know if he wants to get into that more, but I definitely see how it would create something that separates Greek people involved in Greek life and regular students on campus. Just because you are part of a more exclusive organization. I don't really know how to explain it, but I'm sure Felix has a lot more to say in terms of that.
Right. So Felix, how about your thoughts real quick on just overall Greek life, not just specifically what any specific organization, but just the overall concept.
Right. So basically, the reason the reason that I bring it up is because it's something obviously that affects pretty much every college student. As a first year, you come onto a college campus. You don't know what to expect. You don't have any friends. A lot of times, you don't have any friends. You don't have anywhere to turn to, and you feel kind of pressured walking down the main road of campus and seeing all these tables, giving out these flyers and inviting you to events, and you keep saying no and no, and they keep like nudging you to do so. And it can be very pressuring. I remember as a first year, it sucked. I hated it. And I came into college thinking to myself that I would never, ever join a fraternity. Like, that's just not something I see myself doing, especially because of like how the media portrays fraternities. We see them as the college versions of school jocks, right? And, in college, sure, you have the student athletes, but the campus is so big that the student athletes aren't really going to affect the situation of every other student the way it does in high school. But the thing about Greek life is that Greek life is pretty much just as big as the campus, right? Everywhere you go, any class you're in, any dorm room you're in, you're pretty much likely to meet someone that has a connection to Greek life. And I felt as a first year coming in that there was just so much like of this kind of, high school jock status when it came to being in a fraternity. And honestly, that's scary. And when it comes to what I said about, or when it comes to what Annie said about a social hierarchy, is that, as a first year or as a second year if you're still trying to find yourself, you kind of see fraternities like that, right? You see, like, I'm just this lowly student, and then there's this fraternities that are ruling the campus. And then that's not to mention that within a fraternity, it can create a social hierarchy as well, right? Older brothers mean they're more important than younger brothers. You have stories of hazing from all over the country. I mean, every year it happens. Multiple times it happens every year that a student dies from hazing or a student dies from an initiation process. And the reason that these things happen is because within fraternities, there's this mentality of, I'm older, so I get to do this. This was done to me, so I get to do it to you. And there's this kind of like social hierarchy or this social ladder that's set in place, and it does affect a lot of students. And I just feel a lot of the times when it comes to Greek life, it gets a bad rap because, not to call out any specific fraternities, but there are some who live the life that the media portrays, who live the life of beer bongs and drugs and parties and, you name it, right? They live the life that, the media portrays, that the media tells, parents to tell their kids to stay away from. They live that exact life. It's almost funny of how stereotypical it is. And I just feel like when there are good organizations, good fraternities, right, there needs to be a conversation where we need to separate, the fraternities that are making a difference, the fraternities and sororities that are doing good in their community or are living up to the name of their motto, versus those who use it as a form of, who use it as a form of ID, who use it as a personality trait. Like, oh, who are you? Oh, I'm in a frat, right? And they use it to rise above people. That's just the reason I bring it up.
Yeah, in my opinion, the just overall concept of fraternities and sororities, just Greek life, the base concept is what? Just trying to build up relationships for connections once you get out of college, build up camaraderie within the organization, and for some Greek life, have philanthropy options to help out people in your community and outside of your community. However, I do agree that it's gotten to the point where a lot of the bigger fraternities and sororities have really gotten this hierarchy, this toxic culture where it's more about like they're trying to weed out the people who they don't want in their thing. However, it's gone to the point where it's like they're trying to find specific stereotypes or push these type of people to do things that they wouldn't normally do. And obviously, every year, every few years or so, there's always going to be some incident regarding the organization that just ends up getting swept under the rug just because they might have a little higher status. They might have a lot of people in their student government, or they have connections with alumni. It just gets swept. And I feel like there has to be major reform if I feel like Greek life wants to survive at this point. Because I feel like with the rising nature of stuff like clubs, just you can, instead of going to organization for just you don't know who's in it, you can go like, oh, these people know this exact type of thing that I like to do. I want to go there. And I feel like clubs are starting to get a little bit of rise because one, they're cheaper because with a lot of Greek life, if they have a house, it's going to be like hundreds of dollars you have to pay just so they can afford that house for the long term. So I feel like there needs to be major reform within the organization, because I feel like everyone's always talking about it, but no one actually inside the organization is trying to change it. So
it's interesting because like the things that Felix were talking about with the stereotypes are focused on like fraternities, drinking and whatever. But I feel like as a girl, the way I perceived sororities were like they were the really pretty, fit, fashionable girls. And like before I joined AFIO, like I would see sororities as like something that I couldn't attain, or like I couldn't meet the expectations of, because I see that they have like matching white dresses. They have like the expensive clothing, and like they're in the cutest, high heel shoes. And not to say that like that's their personality trait, but like I can't afford a lifestyle in like an organization that has high expectations of their members, like I wouldn't be able to meet that. And so it's interesting because, you're talking about fraternities, and like that's a completely different expectation for, I guess, guys joining versus sororities and girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that as well. So what would you guys think is maybe, obviously changes through inside Greek life will not happen overnight, even if there's a lot of people wanting it to change, just because there's so much. Every Greek life organization has their own like system, has their own, for lack of a better term, politics, their own forms of government, if you could say that. And a lot of those are nationwide. So what do you think are some things that all Greek life can take to try to either try to change for the better, or just do things so, the toxic nature of what they are is no longer associated with just Greek life in general?
I think first things first is I think all Greek organizations need to get rid of hazing. Like, or I guess institutionalized hazing, right? Like ritualized hazing. Like, sure, like I understand some people, find it, I understand it might be fun to take a new member out, as long as they're okay with it. And, and you go out drinking with them as long as they're, 21 and over, or however you feel. You go out drinking with them and you get them a little bit more drunk than than they've ever been before. And sure, that's fine, but you're there to take care of them. You're there to have fun with them. You're there to be with them as a friend, even if you do that. And I understand that that's fine. But when it comes to ritualized hazing, right, to go out into the basement, here's this gallon of vodka, there's 3 of you, finish it. Like, at that point, you're crossing a line. That's not brotherhood anymore. That's somebody did this to me, so I'm going to do it to you. And when that form of ritualized or institutionalized hazing still exists, what that creates is a form of superiority, a superiority complex, right? I'm an older brother, I can haze you. It's how it works. And I think that's the root of all problems. Because in fraternities or sororities, for that matter, if Greek life continues to haze, then the new members are going to haze. Once they become actual brothers or sisters of the organization, then they're going to haze the new members, and so on and so forth. It's never, and the cycle is just never going to break. And I think that's where everything starts, because once you're done hazing, now obviously you feel like this, once you're done being hazed, now you feel like this cool kid. Now you feel like, oh yeah, now I can wear the letters. Now I'm this cool frat boy or this cool sorority girl. And you know what you went through. You know the hazing that you went through. And it adds to that. It adds to the toxic nature of Greek life. It gives people that superiority complex. It gives people that creates that social hierarchy, and it gives people that feeling like I said, like high school jocks. But that's just, for me, that's just the first step to just get rid of like institutionalized or ritualized hazing. Because, I mean, in the end, if someone dies because you make them drink too much, right? Or because they're allergic to alcohol and they told you, hey, I'm allergic to alcohol, I can't drink, and you still make them drink and they die, then now you're not just putting your own organization at risk, you're putting every single Greek organization on campus at risk, even the ones that don't haze. So I think institutionalized or ritualized hazing just needs to go completely.
Any follow up on that, Annie, or does he hit all the points you were thinking about?
Well, yeah, get rid of hazing for sure. But I was thinking about the concept of bid and how, like, I don't think, a social hierarchy could be like broken down in fraternities or sororities, if bidding still exists.
Oh, Annie, can you explain to the audience what bidding is, just for the people who don't know?
Well, our fraternity doesn't bid, so I'm just kind of going off of my already existing knowledge of it, and I guess it's just like potential members come and rush, which is like attend events that the fraternity or sorority hosts, to kind of get to know the members, and then
you good?
Sorry, I disconnected my microphone on accident. My bad.
And then the fraternity or sorority will then decide who they want out of all the potential members to join their fraternity or sorority. And so they would give them a bid, and then they would go through a pledging process, before they actually become a brother or a sister of the organization. So for bidding, like, it creates exclusivity in fraternities or sororities, and I don't think it's an option for many of these organizations to take away bidding, because then there's no filter, and then it's just kind of like a cycle, like they want to filter who comes in, and if you take it away, then like it takes away all the power that they might have. They start letting in everyone, and then they might not be as cool as they are as before. It's just kind of like a complicated cycle of letting people in, shutting people out, building the hierarchy.
Okay, yeah. So with bidding, I feel like it is a way for these organizations to control who comes in or out, but it's also for the members who, I can speak on the organization that we're in. We don't have bidding, so we technically don't have a filter, but a lot of these members will come in, and then once they because the pledging process for a lot of these fraternities are like almost half the semester at least from a lot of these organizations. So I feel like most of these people know, like, just a week or two in or a few weeks in, like, oh, maybe this isn't exactly right for me. So even if there was no filter, a lot of these people are like, well, I don't know if I like the community here, or if I don't know if I fit in here. So I feel like that's a thing. I know they'll have power, but then even when they have bidding, there's a lot of people who might drop out of their process anyway, so it makes them smaller. I know obviously not all these organizations want to be huge, but I just feel like there's so many fraternities already at this point. Bidding is not really, like, there's just so many people. You're just limiting yourself to any sort of diverse. I'm not saying diversity in terms of you have to fit a quota, but like diverse just thought. They're trying to. The reason I feel like a lot of these organizations don't change or don't want to change is because with all this, with bidding, they're always going to pick people who are like-minded, so they'll never have any room for wanting to change unless a member all of a sudden just wants to. So that's another thing where it's like, if they're selecting members who are already not wanting to change and already fully wanting to go into a possibly toxic environment, they're not going to. Of course, they're not going to want to change when it's their turn, when they're on top of the organization. So,
right.
Just some thoughts of mine, though. Maybe on a more serious question, probably to wrap. Unless you guys have any other points to talk about Greek life before we continue on with the next topic or anything. Any other thoughts or top points you want to hit?
No, you said you had a serious question.
Well, not serious, but it's like just talking about. Do you guys feel like in the current climate of the world is because I know it's a topic that's come up a lot from people who are outside the Greek community or on Twitter, Facebook. Do you guys feel there's any room left for Greek life in general? Like, do you think it should still be a thing on campus? As I said before, there's a lot of stuff like clubs that are coming up where people can just join specific interests that they might think, and obviously those are much cheaper because most clubs obviously don't have like a frat house or a sorority house or don't have to fill up specific philanthropy to do donations or anything. But I just know that's a question that gets asked a lot. Is there even any room left, or do you feel like there's still, with if Greek life were to change as we've been talking about, is there still room for these type of organizations to continue being on college campuses, not just in the U.S. but just worldwide? Because it is a worldwide for a lot of these things. They have either Greek life or things similar to Greek life outside of just America and Canada or whatever.
Yeah. Personally, I think there's always going to be room for Greek life, simply because the difference between a fraternity, a sorority, and a club is literally the brotherhood and sisterhood within those organizations and the friendships that you have within a club. So the way I always see it is, if I want to join a club, I can join that club and make a friend or whatever and leave. And there will be like no shockwave, no repercussions. But I know from experience here that when someone just stops being a part of a Greek organization, it kind of affects everybody. Everybody starts wondering like where they are, what's happening. We reach out to them, and there's a difference. And the difference is you feel like you're part of a brotherhood. You feel like you're part of a sisterhood, part of a family. And I think what's important about that is in college, you need somewhere to fit in. And a club meets at certain times and certain points of the day, and they're great. And obviously not everybody's going to go into a fraternity, and people are going to choose a club over a fraternity or sorority every day. It happens, and that's understandable. But for some people, they need something a bit more family feeling. And no matter if your fraternity hazes or has done something bad in the past or, is kind of stereotypical, no matter how good or bad it is, in the end, that sense of brotherhood is probably there. And it's probably really strong. Because what I can say for our organization, I know that we're all I know I'd do anything for anybody that wore the letters that I wear. I see someone from a different school that has the same letters, and I'm instantly their friend, instantly. Like, I'm instantly getting to know them. I instantly want to know who they are and their story. I want to be their friend just simply because we have those letters. And I think that's the biggest difference between clubs and Greek life. It's just that there is a lot more connection, a lot more emotional connection when it comes to Greek life. However, I don't think if it's going to remain the same, if people are going to keep dying from hazing, if people are going to keep being, if there's going to be this same toxic culture that comes out of Greek life as it has been, and it's being, it's not like this is brand new, it's just being exposed, because now people are just not scared to talk. It's being exposed now. And if we continue this, then I don't see Greek life being something supported in the future. I don't see it being supported, no, but I can definitely still see it, as something beneficial. But if it doesn't change, then I don't know. I just don't see like it being supported at all. But if it does begin to change, and we do begin to see a change in the culture that it emits, then for sure I see it being something forever. Something that can last, that my great grandkids will be a part of.
Yeah, I also think that there is still room for Greek life on campus because, like Felix said, like clubs don't have that same intimate process that Greek life brings. And, like clubs are a great way for people to find new friends. But like, I know personally for me, it didn't work out. And like, I couldn't find what I was looking for in clubs during my first semester. So Greek life gave me what I wanted. And it's not going to be the case for everyone, but I think there's room for Greek life on campus, but there is room for change in terms of like all the bidding and all the hazing that we talked about already. And yeah, I don't think it's going to change either. I think for the most part, it's probably fraternities that have the most problems with a whole like masculinity, I gotta be cool thing. That's just what I heard from my personal experience. But yeah, I think there is always going to be room, and I think that people might actually want to seek out hazing sometimes. You know, people might want that in the future. Like, even if it never changes, it's going to be there for somebody that wants to get hazed.
Right. Yeah, so that's probably all our thoughts on Greek life for today. So moving on, Annie had a topic she wanted to surprise us with. So what is it? What is the big surprise? Or I'm scared. I don't know what's gonna happen now. I'm scared. She's gonna get me demonetized, even though I'm not even monetized on YouTube.
Okay, I wanted to talk about conspiracy theories, but I was thinking about the subject. I have like several stupid conspiracy theories, but I thought something that might be interesting for us to talk about is the spiritual world.
Oh, the spiritual world, huh?
We're talking about like Avatar spiritual, or like what's
manifestation?
Like ghosts, demons, poltergeist type shit?
No, well, actually, no, I don't think so. Have you guys ever heard of like randonauting?
No.
It's a trend on TikTok.
Oh no. Okay. I always go. Everything leads back to TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is. Explain.
You've heard of it?
No, I've never heard of it.
My whole TikTok just full of Hamilton right now. I don't know what this stuff is.
What's it called?
Okay.
Say what's
randonauting.
Randonauting.
Like astronauting, but rando.
Astronauting?
But randonauting.
Okay, yeah, I don't know if that explains it at all, but you know.
I'll explain it. Okay. So basically, randonauting is, I think it's an app where it's a random number generator, and it generates.
Oh, okay. Now I know.
A random set of coordinates near you, and you're supposed to put like your purpose for going out on a trip or whatever. It's basically just to explore the world around you, so you don't have to travel long distances. And people will put like what they're looking for, like maybe they're trying to find answers to something, maybe they're trying to find like love or whatever. I don't know. And so you go to this the coordinates that they give you, and then you just kind of like wander, and a lot of people find like crazy coincidences that match up to what they're trying to look for, and so people think that it's a manifestation of things. And
so you said there's a randonauting?
Randonauting.
That's an app that gives them like a random location, and then they go, and then that group of friends found a dead body in a suitcase.
That one? Oh, I remember that. I saw that story.
Yeah. Do you guys think that we can manifest things? Or is it just coincidence?
I mean, in a universe of infinite possibilities, I don't know. I don't know if you can manifest it, but with a world of infinite coincidences and possibilities, I think I don't know, because I feel like maybe if there wasn't anything interesting, it wouldn't be uploaded. But I don't know. That's true. Felix, let me know if you believe in manifestation.
I don't know if I necessarily believe in manifestation. Maybe. I do kind of have this like weird thing where it's like if I say it too much, I'll speak it into existence. So I guess that is manifestation. But I mean, that's like, it's like, for me, it's more like, if it's obsessive, right? Like I have to be doing it a lot. Like I have to be speaking about it a lot. And then all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, it happened, right? Yeah, I think that's the only one that for me. But I'm not necessarily sure how I would approach that.
I've been manifesting things.
What do you mean? Give examples.
I have been manifesting things at work. I'm legit going crazy. But okay.
Explain. Give us some stories. Give us the tea. No pun intended.
I will give the tea. We have like a whole toppings table, right? And like there's labels for every toppings we have. And I was like zoning out one day, staring at the labels, and you can see like old labels for like old toppings that the store used to have. And like I was staring at it and I was like trying to make it out. It said blueberry popping boba, right? And I'm like, oh shoot, that's crazy. We had blueberry popping boba. And then I was gonna bring it up to my shift lead, but I was like, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we used to have it. And then like 10 minutes later, we get a phone order, and then like I hear my shift lead taking it, and then I hear him say, "Oh, sorry, we don't have blueberry popping boba." And I'm like, hold on. I've worked here for over a year, and nobody has ever requested blueberry popping boba until after I saw that label. I manifested it.
You did not manifest that.
No,
No, I've ever.
I would think maybe you were like, because you were not paying attention to anyone saying blueberry popping boba before. So, but now that's in your head. The first time you hear it, you're like, oh, there it is. To be fit, no, you think it's
okay. Wait. But I was going crazy after that. I was like freaking out to my shift lead, and then we have a topping, green apple jelly, right? Nobody orders it. I can go like a week without anyone ordering it. Sure. And so I was like, listen, I'm manifesting things right now. If anybody orders green apple jelly, you know I manifested it. And so guess what happened? 10 minutes later, I took an order of a customer, and the last thing she said, she's like, I'll get that with green apple jelly. And I was like,
I'm just like imagining one of your coworkers.
I'm starting a religion.
So you manifested it.
You're manifesting bubble tea. Oh, hello. Someone just ran across the screen.
Yeah, just soba.
I like the food?
Like the noodle.
Like the noodle? Oh shit.
Soba.
Cat cameo. Hello. Oh.
Yeah, we love cat.
No, I'm just imagining one of your coworkers, you said that, you're starting to freak out like, man, if someone comes in with green apple boba, it's gonna be insane. And then I just imagine one of your coworkers like goes on the break, goes talk to a friend in the bathroom, it's like, hey, I'll give you $5 if you like mess with the cashier.
No, I manifested it.
Personally, I don't think I've ever like manifested anything, because it's like, I don't know. Maybe I just can't remember anything, but I don't know. It just seems way too coincidental, because I forget who said it or like what type of like theory it is, but it's like, if anything can go wrong in this world, it will. So it's like, if anything can happen, it will. So it has to be like a coincidence. Like, it can't just be like, just because I said it, it's going to happen.
Have you guys ever had like a dream and then like you get like deja vu later
all the time?
Or like I dreamed that.
I've had a dream about deja vu, about me saying I had deja vu. That I've gone deja vuception. I'm 3 layers deep, guys.
Now, one thing that I do know is I've had dreams that have come true. Like, I've done activities in dreams where I do it to the T, like the following day or something, or like a few days later. Because I'll be like, wait a minute, I did this already. I experienced deja vu, but it won't take me more than 30 seconds to realize, hold on, I dreamt about this the other day. And yeah, I remembered it, and it happens. And it happens.
Have you ever had those dreams that are just like, they're so vivid that you always remember them no matter how far after? Yes. Even though some dreams are like, you forget them like 5 minutes after you wake up, but then there's those ones, they don't even have to be like nightmares. They're just like random dreams. You're like, why do I remember everything so well from like 10 years ago? And that one dream where I like was like, let's just say like I was running up a castle wall and going to fight something, and I'm like, why do I still remember that random dream, but I don't remember the dream that like scared me about 2 nights ago? It's like, what?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know. Like, have you guys ever tried to lucid dream, or like in your dream, like, okay, I must be dreaming, I want to go do something real quick, or no?
No, I don't think I have the mental capacity for that.
I think I started to one, and then like I realized I was dreaming, and I was like, oh shoot, and then I woke up.
Yeah.
Like like I was too startled.
You guys heard of the theory that we're all living? People said we live in a simulation, but you guys haven't heard now. So now we're going deep into conspiracy. We're actually living in someone's dream, where we're literally like one person in the world is dreaming. We don't know what it is, but the dream's gone so long that everyone has formed their own consciousness in the dream. But the minute someone goes up to that person and says, "Wake up," this whole world stops existing, just like that. It's just like we're all gone, and the guy wakes up is like. He lived 40 years of his life, and now he's like back to being 5 years old. And I don't know.
We're in a dream.
I don't know which one is worse, being in a dream or being in a simulation. Because
I don't know.
Because people were saying like,
kind of wild.
Because people were saying like, people like, 50 years from now, games will be so realistic, or movies will be so realistic, you'll feel like you're in the real world. How do we not know we're already in that thing, and someone's playing each and every person to a T? What if we're just like, a character created on a freaking in a RuneScape 10 or something? I don't know.
I have a similar conspiracy theory.
Ooh.
It's why I wanted to talk about conspiracy theories, and Felix knows what I'm gonna say.
I want to know. I don't know. I definitely don't know. What is this?
Okay. What if we are never sleeping? Okay, when we go to sleep, we are waking up in another life, and then there's no way of knowing, because maybe in that other life, when you go to sleep, like you forget everything when you wake up. You just have these glimpses. You're like, I had a dream, but that's your other life.
and maybe there's times when those other realities are so close. That's why you can remember them, because within this space they're closer. So for some reason those memories connected and are with you. That's why you're like, I remember this one time when we fell off a bridge and had to swim up, but I don't know why that's the one I remember. For instance, that's one I remember. I always remember this dream where like my family literally like falls off a bridge from a car and we all have to swim up. But for some reason, I can't remember any other dreams. Well, I can't remember a few, but that dream's always so vivid. Like I remember the feeling of falling. Like I've never fallen off a bridge, but I felt like I was. So I don't know. Maybe you're right on that point. Because like,
wow, I was serious.
If so, then my parallel reality self is going to jail because I have killed a lot of people in my sleep.
Oh man! Oh my gosh!
So
he's actually just sleepwalking. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know if my next dream I'll be a free man or not. See, I wanted to talk about sleepwalking since we're talking about sleep so much.
Right, we're just going off. Let's just keep going, popping off.
What's crazy to me is the ability that people have when they're asleep. Right, there have been multiple accounts of people who get completely ready, drive to the bar, party with people, and end up in somebody else's bedroom, but the entire time they were asleep. Or they'll wake up cooking. They'll have a full-ass finished breakfast, bacon, muffins, all that stuff. But they were asleep the entire time. In fact, there have been multiple accounts of women who end up pregnant because they go and they have,
I've heard of this.
People, but they were asleep. They were asleep. This is real.
This is like there's some people, just like sleep talk. Some people just like walk around their house. Some people legit like because it's like their brain goes into like autopilot. You've always have you ever felt like you're just driving on the road and you're like you don't like wake up. You're just like, I wasn't thinking about where to go, but I just ended up getting to school or something. Yeah. Or it's not like maybe you were daydreaming or something and you just kind of dozed off, but you're like, you didn't crash or anything, or you're like, oh, and you're just like, I don't know, is that crazy? Maybe not. Maybe it is crazy. Maybe we're all crazy. Again, if we're in a simulation, we just have random variables, Oh, are we censoring out someone?
It is crazy to me. It's crazy to me. And the other day, I was thinking about when Annie brought up conspiracy theories when we were planning this out, I started thinking about all those weird, creepy things that you would find on the internet, that photo of the son of the father and the son in a field, and there's a spaceman falling out of the sky, and nobody knows how that spaceman got there. You guys know what photo I'm talking about?
No.
It's super famous. Super internet famous. And literally Literally, it was super internet famous. Can I share my screen on here when we're on this video call?
You can try. I don't know if I'll be able to see it, but we can try.
I see it. I looked it up. The Solway Spaceman.
You should be able to share your screen there. There's a button on the bottom. I don't know if you'll see it, though. If we'll see it, I mean. Obviously, you have to make sure you know which photo it is, though.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. There's hella like scary photos. Oh, here it is.
All right, let's see.
I wonder if I can. No, I don't think I can't share my screen. It doesn't seem like it.
Even it's right next to. There should be turn off.
Yeah, but Annie's showing it on her phone right there.
Okay.
You see that spaceman behind his daughter, I guess.
Oh yeah, I've seen this. I've seen this.
They have no idea how it got there. Like, and if they've done like studies of it, and it's a real photo, like it's not a doctored photo, like that shit's real. And then you got stuff like what's her name? The Babushka lady. I don't know if you guys have heard of her. The Babushka lady. She looks like she's dressed like an old like Russian grandma, and she's on the hill in front of the road where JFK gets murdered. And there's a picture of her being there. And when the FBI looked for her, she's gone. She's non-existent. Yeah, that lady.
Oh yeah, I've seen that photo.
Non-existent. She doesn't exist. Like she's gone off the face of the earth. She disappeared. The FBI never found her. The CIA, the FBI never. We don't know who she is. We don't know where she came from. But she's in pictures.
Man, we've gone off the rails here.
This world is crazy.
Do you think all the things in New Mexico, all the alien sightings in New Mexico, are they real or are they fake? Because New Mexico is like New Mexico is like the UFO sighting capital of the world. Like, there's so many stories of like abductions or spaceships in the air. I remember this because it was on. What was it? What's that one? What's the Arthur spinoff with Buster? What's it called? I don't remember. It's like it's like an in real life, but the actor who's playing Buster is like dubbing over whatever. But it's just like, I remember they went to New Mexico and they were like, "Oh, look at all these! It's like the alien capital of the world." Or I'm like
Nevada, New Mexico,
that whole area where some people are like, "Oh, it's aliens." Other people are like, "No, it's just a place where there's a lot of U.S. test sites over there, so maybe they're just testing out the new aircraft." And that's obviously, you wouldn't want to make that public because it's confidential knowledge. But some people take a picture. No one knows. I mean, didn't you guys see NASA released a UFO a few weeks ago, like a UFO sighting? And remember, UFO is not technically alien, just unidentified flying object.
Yeah.
So it could have been just someone's random drone just in the air, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know what that is."
See, my thing based on pure logic is there has to be aliens, right? If the universe is ever expanding and ever growing, there has to be at least some form of life somewhere else. It's like almost impossible to assume that there isn't, right? But who knows if they're capable of intergalactic space travel?
It's a thing where the paradox where you can't prove it, but you can't disprove it either.
Right.
Like if something you cannot say something is not there if you cannot 100% disprove its existence.
Right.
Like if there's like any possibility that something exists, is like, oh, then it possibly exists, especially if we're of the mindset that the universe is ever infinite. But then how do multiverses happen? What space do those, like, as Annie said, you're visiting different realities.
Right.
If every universe is infinite, what's beyond infinite? Like, our minds can't comprehend that. Like, I've seen how many people have gone on Joe Rogan's podcast and just confused the shit out of people trying to explain like theoretical physics. You're like,
yeah,
your head just explodes. You're just like, I don't understand anything that's going on. And we're not experts. I'm not trying to be like, I don't know. We have comics to explain multiverses. Okay, they're the ones who know. They're the real experts right here, not the theoretical physicists. We got the comic book writers. Like, no, what happened if Batman was a cat? It's Catman. Oh, I don't know, but I kind of do think like the point where Annie's like, well, is it our dreams visiting other realities, or is it just because they say that the people in our dreams are just random faces that we've gathered up over the years, which then makes you think, are we a simulation? Because then what if the simulation is just connecting to different computers around the world? in their world, and because they have the internet, obviously, and it sometimes slips through. I don't know. Whatever. We can go deep into this if we wanted to. I don't know.
I think the thing about that pretty much disproves the simulation is that everything is too perfect, the way that things exist. I feel like if everything was a simulation, we would see errors in coding more often, unless we're just like oblivious to stuff like that.
I mean,
right?
all those...
the human body is crazy.
The human body is... I mean, look, how many miles long is our intestines? Like 6 miles? Like, I don't... And it fits all in here.
Yes. I don't know how long it is.
I don't know how long. I remember that from biology class. They're like, yeah, you have like miles worth of organs in your system, but your body's able to keep it together because logic. I don't know. Something. Oh, then you're... I don't know. Like, you're just weird.
It wraps it up in a coil.
It's tough to think that, that none of it is real. Because it's like you have all these thoughts, these personality traits, and everything that you've built up, all for just to know that it's just your player choosing +3 sneakiness, right?
99 sneak, guys.
Or rolling a 7 in your intimidation. Rolling 7 for intimidation. So it's
we got like the TikTok jokes. We got like, oh, we're welcome to Earth version 2020.7 unleash. It's like
yeah.
It's like patch notes Corona hitting US server hardest right now. trying to get the anti-cheat to get rid of the hack.
Exactly.
I don't know. It's just weird stuff.
We shouldn't even get into government conspiracies.
No, those are. We're not going to talk about that, okay? Talking to you, Peter. Yeah, I know.
Is there FBI agent watching us?
Yeah, his name's Peter. He's all chill. Peter, sends me stuff that I'm actually looking for sometimes. I was like looking up, like, I want to see what, like, I wonder how the PS5's going. Literally 5 minutes later, PS5's on Amazon saying, hey, we're going to get ready to pre-order in a few months, but we have the official page. And I'm like, thanks, Peter. You're a true homie right there.
Thanks, Peter.
Mine's not as cool.
Oh, what does your FBI agent do?
Nothing. I mean,
it's boring. He just does
the other side.
Just does their job. Just goes day to day.
On the other side.
Cheetos with chopsticks.
Yeah.
They're that person. How about you, Felix? What do you think your FBI agent's doing, or your NSA agent, or whichever one?
I don't think I'm important enough to have one.
I
feel like they're like, yeah, he's Mexican. We don't need to keep an eye
on. Oh my god. No, but I don't know. Government conspiracy theories. We could go. I don't know. So many of them have been disproven, yet people will continue to believe them. A lot of them are not disproven, but no one believes them.
The government.
That's true.
Government has proved government conspiracies.
That's true.
I'm just saying.
Who can we trust?
Who can we trust? Is coronavirus even real?
Oh God!
Don't play, Felix.
Felix, I'm just gonna, as you talk about that, I'm just gonna continue to just put the mask on. We go. Oh my goodness! It's just surrounding the virus alone. There's so many conspiracies. It's just too much to keep up with. And with the internet now, they're just conspiracies everywhere. Even places where you're just like why would you even
conspiracy?
Where it was a in their thing they said it was a technical glitch.
Right, that a couch costed $15,000 and it was listed as a Latina girl's name.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't shop on Wayfair anyway, so I didn't really.
That's an expensive couch.
It's an expensive couch.
$15,000. I should
it's just
never have to get off that couch again.
Jeff Bezos was just buying that couch to put in his new mountain. My God, he just bought a mountain. He has a mountain now. Oh my God, I don't know. World is crazy. People buying mountains
for their evil lairs.
Or evil. I mean, he's gonna have. I'm surprised not more millionaires and billionaires have their own mountain. I mean, I know Jeff Bezos is the most richest man in the world, but I would have thought someone would already had their cliffside mountain off the coast of like Alaska or something already.
Right.
Or maybe they do.
Maybe. We're not at those mountains.
We're not there. We're not there.
We're surrounded by them. So,
I mean, people have their own islands, you know.
If whoever's listening to this, if we're just creating more conspiracy theories to you as to maybe the rich own the mountains that we are surrounded by, and that's why they know everything that we do, that's why it feels like we can't ever leave and we're always stuck where we are, then maybe think about it.
Yeah, don't you know all?
Why do? Oh, sorry. Continue.
No, go. I was gonna say, why do rich people live in the hills? Ooh. For a vantage point? What are they watching for? Oh, yeah. You're right. All of Los Angeles should shudder in fear right now.
Protecting yourself from something? If so, what is it?
They're ready. They're ready for it, man. They know. Illuminati confirmed. Come on. Confirmed. I mean, come on. Everyone knows everyone's part of the Illuminati. They've just shut off our memories of it. Come on. It's obvious. They found a way to shut off our memories, so every time we see something Illuminati, they're like, oh, deleted. Here you go.
The coronavirus injection is going to have microchips so that the government can track us.
Of course it.
And then kill us off later when
you're tracked now.
Bro, wasn't that the plot to Kingsman?
Is it?
I don't know. I remember something about them having like chips or something.
It's a conspiracy theory because Bill Gates is the one who was pushing for the vaccine.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Like, oh, he's gonna.
But he's a philanthropist, guys. No.
I don't know where they got these crazy shit from.
I don't know. I think it's just that there's always the feeling of the unknown, and when you haven't proven anything, your mind just tends to fill in gaps. That's why when you're in the dark, you're always like, something's got to be watching me because it's just so dark you can't see anything. But obviously, the minute you turn on your lights, there's nothing there, but was there. And that's why I always have a nightlight, because I don't like the demon watching me from my closet.
Do you guys sleep with your feet under the blanket?
If I have a blanket on, yeah.
So wait, so the question is, do you sleep with your feet under the blanket, or are you weird?
Yeah.
I only leave my feet out of the blanket.
Ooh, you're brave.
You get attacked by demons.
That's how you get. That's the La Llorona is coming for you, man. Bro, I watch Lights Out. That shit freaked me out the most of any horror movie, because like it's literally just she literally lives in the darkness. You can't turn off any light. Have you guys watched Lights Out or no? Did you guys watch it or no?
Lights Out?
Yeah, it's like where it's like literally. It started off the short film where a person was turning the light on and off.
Oh, right.
And then it became a full-length movie. There was like one part where like the two main characters, the sister and the brother, were just like at their bed, right? They're like, we're safe because the light's here. And the one had their legs hanging off because they're sitting down. And then from the camera, you just see hands coming from underneath the bed because, darkness under the bed, and just yanks the brother. And I'm like, oh my God, fuck that.
Yeah. It's not the scariest movie, but I thought it was well done.
It's well done. It's just like, I don't know. Like, are you afraid of the dark, or are you a psychopath?
That's a good question.
The psychopaths don't feel feelings. Sociopath. Sorry, my bad.
Sociopaths don't feel feelings. Psychopaths do, but they have the ability to just say, fuck it.
They don't have empathy, right? They don't have empathy. There we go.
They lack empathy. Exactly.
What would you rather?
Sociopaths they don't feel. They don't, They just don't feel.
I've just finished not all seasons, but the 12 seasons of Criminal Minds on Netflix.
No, I'm on season 3.
Man, it's just like, man. There's one point where they said at any given time in the U.S. there's estimated to have 20,000 active serial killers, and I'm just like, fuck that. Hell no.
One of the crazy things to me is that psychopaths and sociopaths, though for example, sociopaths can't feel, they have. They can't feel emotion, they can't feel love, attraction, or anything like that. And psychopaths, obviously, they don't have empathy, but they're good at faking it. They don't know how right? So, for example, actors, when they have to cry or whatever, they tap into a sad moment in their life, right? Like the death of a parent or something, and that's what makes them cry. Sociopaths, they don't know how it feels to love. They can't tap into that moment, but they are charming. And they are good at it. There's studies that's how people fall in love with them. That's why people like Ted Bundy, right, had a following of girls who just went to all of his court dates and were there every single time he appeared on TV. It was crazy because of how charming he was. And that's how he was able to take people from plain, in the middle of the day at a beach, just take them and kill them because of how charming he is, because of their ability to act like they know how they're supposed to feel, even though they don't feel.
And it's weird because, and then it comes back to nature versus nurture, because even though a lot of these people are like, oh, you would think all sociopaths and psychopaths are going to be like murderers or serial killers or just something, a lot of them are just like, if they had a quote-unquote stable childhood, right, most of them are like psychopaths. What they say, the majority of psychopaths don't kill, they just go into business. That's why a bunch of all these, like, they just want money because they can't empathize with anything. That's why a lot of the top people at Wall Street they think they're psychopaths, not because they're going to kill people, because they're just thinking about themselves to such an extreme degree. They'll do anything for power and money, but not necessarily they're going to like kill anyone if they're having a stable life. But that's just weird to me. It's just like, I don't know what sociopaths do. I don't know. Maybe some people, like, I don't know. They said Sherlock. Have you guys watched Sherlock?
One episode.
Yeah, where he says oh, I'm a high functioning sociopath, but then everyone's like, no, he's just a high functioning person with Asperger's. It's like, I'm like, well, okay, I guess that makes sense too. It's not that he's just socially inept. But he's not like a sociopath. Yeah. Sociopath wouldn't be able to form connections at all, but obviously he does. So he wouldn't be able to.
Back to like the serial killer thing that you said, like how many you are in the United States, you never know when you meet one, right? Like literally you could have gone to the grocery store and brushed up against someone who was buying cleaning supplies because they need to go home because their floor is covered in blood from their last victim.
And because they're not your type, like you're not their type, they could care less about you. Just hit them on accident.
Exactly.
God, I'm offended.
Yeah. Why
come on, man. I want suffering. Come on. Don't they know Gen Z is like the most like depressed generation?
What do they have that I don't?
Right. Just because they're brunette or something, or what?
Like I'm sorry, I'm not a blonde girl who like is really rich. Okay, I'm sorry. She's
no, but
it's a race thing.
It's super
interesting. How many times do you think you walked past like a crime scene and you didn't even know it? Like maybe there's like a dead body buried there.
I mean, there's always like those police cars. You're like, and you're on the freeway. Like you don't know what happened. You just like something's here. There's police. I think there's a car. Probably a car crash. And it's obviously reported as a car crash, but you don't know anything. Unless you're in Florida, where the news gets access to everything for some reason.
I think
Florida, man.
One of the things that I'm scared of or like weirdly nervous of is finding a dead body. I don't know how I would react if I was like on a hike.
Like a zombie or like or finding or fighting?
Finding.
Oh, I thought you said fighting. I'm like...
No, like imagine you're just out hiking, right, with your girlfriend, with your best friend, whoever it may be, and you're like, hold on, I need to tie my shoe. You tie your shoe, you get down low, you see something weird, and then you look at it, it is a dead body. Like, there goes your whole day, because now, you saw a dead body, you gotta be interviewed by police, like, that has to be emotionally draining.
Why me?
And it's weird, because if you don't report it for the police, and they find out you didn't report it, you can get prosecuted. Yeah. But if you report it, you're automatically the first suspect.
Exactly.
It's like, what do you do? It's like,
the first suspect. I mean, as the person who reports it and as the first suspect, you're probably very easily going to be let go and like, all right, we don't care. But still, I don't know. It makes me really nervous to think that one day I can just find a dead body, And
I know Criminal Minds dramatizes everything because obviously, serial killer is literally just someone who killed 3 or more people, right? It just like, that could be, technically that's, I don't know if gang related shootings would be, obviously mass shootings are technically serial, but you never see serial killer killed hundreds of people at the mall. It's like, no, just mass shooter. But obviously, I don't know if those statistics go into what people estimate are, because if you watch Criminal Minds, they're just like any. They don't just go after serial killers. It's typically that, but it's just like any sort of thing that the FBI BAU needs to go in.
I mean, you know what sucks? Like you talk about all these conspiracy theories, and it shows like Criminal Minds that freaks people out even more, right? Because people watch and they binge them, and they start blurring that line between fiction and reality, between drama and the real world, you know? And they start blurring that line, and they're like, no, I don't want to go outside anymore. I don't want to do this and that, blah, blah, blah.
It doesn't help that Criminal Minds literally in the episode will always reference this story they obviously took inspiration from for that episode. Yeah. Remember the serial killer back in 1974 in this exact same county who did a very similar thing to this person. It's like, okay, we get it, exposition. We get it. You had inspiration from this one case you saw on Google last week. But it's like it's stuff like that. Not Law and Order. CSI area. CSI would be something similar. NCIS.
Law and Order.
But Law and Order is just kind of okay. Also, people who watch Law and Order know a lot of the courtrooms don't work like that. Okay.
Oh yeah.
You can't just they'll be like, hey, don't say that to the defendant, and they'll still say it, but nothing happens. It's like, that would make you lose the case if you said it again, okay? Whatever. It's what I'm not a lawyer, but I just know everything's dramatized to an extent, but I don't know. All I know is that Reed is the best character in Criminal Minds to change my mind. Facts.
I don't even know how we got here. We came from conspiracy theories to creepy photos to serial killers and Criminal Minds.
Anyway, Annie, what was it?
What?
Rando? What?
Rando
nodding.
Rando nodding. Okay, I'll see. I'll test it out. Maybe I'll find like a buried treasure or something. I want to be a millionaire.
I want to bring it back to manifesting. I'm not sure if it's the same thing as manifesting, but do you think that you can? Do you guys legitimately believe you can invite bad spirits into your home?
Yes.
Wait, what? Can you say that one more time?
I'm too paranoid.
Like, do you legitimately believe that you can invite like bad, harmful spirits into your home?
I mean, that's all. It's weird because that's a lot of Western like paranormal stuff is like that. Like a vampire cannot enter your house unless you ask them to. But then you got like Japan where it's like, nah, they're just there. If they're there, the Oni's there, you're gone. Good luck, man. You're just like, what the hell?
But what I'm saying is, I'm kind of like,
can you
bring it back to what she was saying about manifesting? So do you think like if you like talk about it enough, like if you say spirits aren't real, that's bullshit, you just keep on like neglecting it, do you think you can do that enough to the point where a spirit's like, all right, you know what, it's on, and he's gonna enter your house and prove you wrong?
With the bad mojo vibe.
This guy's day.
Let me just. It's not even like a bad one where they like try to hurt you or kill you. It's like, I'm going to move his phone somewhere where he's never going to check. And then I'm going to put it on silent so when he calls it, he can't hear it. And it'll die before he finds it. And he'll find it a year from now. Just inconveniencing you.
The bigger question is, do you guys believe in like spirits like that? Like one thing is believing like religiously, right? Your spiritual self and stuff like that. That's one thing. But another thing is like, do you believe in malicious spirits who will come in like hot houses and hot things and hurt you and stuff like that? Do you think that's something like actually can happen? I'm not saying possession because that's purely like religious, like possession and stuff like that, I would say. But I would say like hauntings and stuff like that is more like spirits and evil versus good spirits and whatnot.
I don't think you can manifest them.
I think they just are.
They're just like, they attach to things.
Yeah.
I don't know the spiritual world that well, but I don't think you can talk about, ghosts aren't real, and then like they're like, yeah, well, this guy.
You're just what's up? I mean, we can just get the spirit answers just real quick. Let me just, hey, Aang. Hey, Korra, can you help me out and just explain stuff real quick? Speaking of Avatar is already on Netflix. Korra's coming next month. Get ready for just a bunch of Korra memes in the next 2 months. For better or for worse. I like Korra. Korra's not bad. I'm just saying, like, it's gonna be all over Twitter and all over social media.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
I would say book 2 is probably the worst book. Book 2 of Korra is the worst book by far of any of the Avatar. But I think like book 3 and kind of book 4 are on par with like book 1 of Avatar, the original series. I won't say maybe book 3 even, because just like so many things. Book 3 of Korra is by far the best book of that entire 4-book series. It's not even close. Just because the enemy, but whatever. Now we're on a different subject entirely.
Ugh. I don't remember Korra that well, and
I don't believe in ghosts and spirits, so they can come haunt me any day if they want to prove me wrong.
You heard it first here at the GoLoco podcast. Felix is gonna be haunted tonight. He's not gonna be able to find his wallet.
You guys ever had sleep paralysis?
Yeah.
Once I had it. I was at my girlfriend's house, and I was just like literally like my eyes were open. I couldn't move. The only reason I woke up is because Ashley literally punched me awake in the shoulder, like, "Hey," like, oh, and I was like sweating, all scared. I was like, but I couldn't move.
Did you see a demon?
No, it was in the middle of the day, so it was just like I was just taking a nap, and all of a sudden I just couldn't move. It was freaky as hell.
The reason I ask is because people see different things when they're in sleep paralysis, and like for me, it's like, do you think there's some sort of significance to that? Like, are you seeing what you're truly scared of during sleep paralysis? Because people always say demons, but the only reason they say demons is because they just see a shadowy figure.
And for all you know, just like the bird just landed on your window, and now the light just shining in from there.
They're not seeing like necessarily like a demon. But the one thing that got me thinking, like, maybe this is what people are truly scared of, was my friend. She has sleep paralysis. She has sleep paralysis all the time. Oh,
after that, no.
She's like scared to sleep. And she was telling me that one of her at the time, one of her most recent ones was she woke up and she couldn't move, obviously, and it was just the demon that was there, or the apparition, was her mom, just watching her sleep. Not moving, not doing anything, just watching over her.
Oh, that's some paranormal activity shit. Hell no.
I'm like, no, that's on a whole new level. So that's what got me thinking, like, there's no way that what people see in sleep paralysis is coincidental, right? It has, like, I feel like there's some significance behind it, right? Or no? Am I crazy to think that?
Maybe it's linked to the thing where when you're dreaming, like Annie said, you're going through other worlds, but when you get sleep paralysis, you're stuck in between worlds. So you're just seeing like the apparitions that are actually in control of the other realities. You're literally seeing the gods and demons of the whole entire multiverse. The other
life mom.
Yo, what if my friend, what if she was asleep, right? And her mom was just tucking her in bed. But since she's stuck, she just sees this one image of her.
She's stuck in time. She just like, her mom just came in like, oh, she forgot to put the blanket on. But then she wakes up in sleep paralysis, everything just like stops. And you're just like, because obviously you're just like,
what the computer freezes.
Yeah, exactly.
Simulation, guys, we're back on it here. See, there, sleep paralysis is the error code of us. That's what we're like.
When we go missing within the next 24 hours, you know it was the government.
You know it was the government.
We spoke the truth.
We spoke. What if the government doesn't even know? What if it's something even higher? Only the Illuminati. All right, here we go. Hey, I don't know what is freaking Jay. I haven't heard Jay-Z say it in so long. I haven't heard Jay-Z talk in so long. What was it like? I remember everyone was in middle school like, huh, what's it? How does he say it? It's Hova. I don't fucking know. I haven't heard Jay-Z in like a minute. Literally haven't heard him talk. You just see him in photos now. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't say anything. It's because Beyonce's actually the leader of the Illuminati.
Someone replaced him the same way with April Lavigne and Eminem. They died and someone replaced them.
Did you call Avril Lavigne April?
April Lavigne. See, that's why he just slipped into another reality where her name was April.
No, but yeah, somebody died and replaced. I mean, Avril Lavigne, obviously, right? Eminem is 40 something, and he still looks like he's 20. So obviously, they're like using new people every 20 years, you know. kind of using what
Keanu Reeves, Ryan Reynolds. Come on, guys, it's out in the open. Who plays Scott Pym in Marvel? What's his name? Oh shit.
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd, man, he's like 50s right now. He looks like he's in his 20s. I was like, hell no. He's like, what is it? They just do a really good Korean skincare routine. Hell no.
Yeah.
Totally.
This is just aging secrets. Anti-aging secrets.
We all know Ryan Reynolds actually eats actual Deadpools. Come on, guys. He actually gets Deadpools from other realities and actually eats them. Come on, guys. We all know this. But yeah, I feel like that's a good place. I think that's a good place to end it, unless you guys have any final thoughts regarding any of the topics we've talked about today.
I'm good. I think we covered a lot.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
We did cover a lot. It's gonna be a good episode. I think we're gonna.
Just one last conspiracy theory to leave you all with.
Oh shit!
The birds work for the bourgeoisie. So.
The what?
The birds work for the bourgeoisie.
It's like tripping just starts like shit. Felix, quiet.
I mean, the quarantine started, and then all the birds just fucking disappeared.
Yeah.
All the pigeons, they all disappeared, right? Why? Because the quarantine is so the government can recharge their batteries.
It's actually a conspiracy.
Recharging.
It's actually, the whole world is based on a war between the birds and the squirrels, and the quarantine happens so the birds can launch an attack at the San Jose State squirrels and eliminate them for good. It's all, no one's there right now. Everyone knows.
The biggest rebellion between the birds and the squirrels is the San Jose squirrels. They're the biggest. They're the biggest
faction of the squirrel. Have you even just going 5 feet outside of San Jose State? All the squirrels are skinny, timid. The minute you get there, they're all roided up, eating hamburgers and shit,
eating steak and shake. Yeah,
steak and shake. Again, 2 minutes. All these college students let me just give the food, and then they'll never leave. They're just they're at your window the next day. It's the equivalent of the Yakuza right now. You pay the squirrels in food so that you continue to live. Come on, guys! Everyone knows this. They make sure you'll never drop out. The only reason people drop out is because you didn't give enough food to the San Jose State squirrels.
The San Jose State squirrels.
Facts.
They're in control.
Come on, no one fucks with the San Jose State squirrels. I definitely don't.
They keep me going.
You heard it here first, guys. We're in a simulation, and the people controlling us are not people; they're birds and squirrels. All right, guys. You heard it here first. I don't know what we're talking. I don't know. All right. Anyway, I feel like any closing thoughts from either of you, just in general. Anything you want to say? Any goodbyes to the audience besides what Felix said? Andy, you have anything to say?
Wear a mask. Use hand sanitizer. Stay safe.
Physical distance, guys.
Don't be stupid.
Don't be stupid. You know, don't sue me, Philip DeFranco. I just said that. Okay, didn't mean to. All right. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching today on the GoLoco podcast. And yeah, peace out, guys. You know,
I'll see you, everybody.
Peace out. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. I got it. Comment down below what you believe. What conspiracy theories do you believe? Right here. What's your number one conspiracy theory? Because we all know it's the birds and the squirrels. Number one, obviously.
Exactly.
All right. So anyway, have a good day, guys. Stay safe. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Peace out.